Well, let's go ahead and get started, and then we have to continue a little debugging session afterwards. That's fine. Hey, everybody. Let's see, AJ, Gabriel, Bilal.
Larry, just to let you know, Christian, Bilal, and myself are here on John's farm in the same room.
Okay, good. Welcome. Yeah, so let's start off the meeting with some updates we've been talking about over the last little while. And Daph has made some progress. He's gonna, do you want the floor or the screen, Daph?
Yes, if possible.
Yeah, let me pass it over to him. So we're gonna see something about Jira, then we'll come back and talk about some other infrastructure things in a minute. So let me stop sharing. Go ahead.
Okay, you should be able to see a site right now.
Yep.
Notice the website is lf-ether-test.atlassian.net. That's also on the meeting notes right now. The goal is to use this as a test playground, make sure we have what we'd like, and then I'll configure the same thing on lf-ether.atlassian.net, which will be our production site.
Okay.
So right now, these are just 3 test sites. Let me just walk through it quick. You'll notice when you create a ticket, there's currently 2 issue types, issue and feature. Issue is essentially a problem, and feature is a request. When you create it, it'll be in the open status, provide a summary, select a component. Right now, product components are on-ramp, ROC, SD Cord, SD RAN, Smart 5G, according to what we requested earlier, identified. I also put unknown in the event that somebody doesn't know. And I've created a component just for now, which is Jira setup. So during the test phase, as people encounter issues, just put them into this component, and we'll start dealing with it. One question I have is, as people identify things to fix, what should be the threshold for me to provide it or fix it? That's kind of group discussion as to, if anybody wants it, do we do it? Or do you want a threshold to, if 2 people agree or 3 people agree, or whatever we go on that? At some point, I'd like that discussion.
Well, let's have that discussion right now just for a second and see if we can settle it. We can always bring it to the TST. So that's the final arbitrator, I guess. But I wouldn't think we would necessarily need to do that if it is something that is considered dead obvious, but I don't know.
I'm assuming some are, but some won't be. So
yeah. Well, so if it's not dead obvious, I would say bring it to the TST.
Okay. In which case, I'll as I bring over things that I don't feel are dead obvious, I'll throw it to TST. Otherwise, I'll update them and start working on them, and TST can always overrule later.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. But again, use Jira setup for any issues along those lines. I do need to know who are the default project leads for the components.
Well, let's see. I think we can do something reasonable here.
Yeah.
Core, AJ.
Just update the notes.
Maybe we kind of split the core off. RAN. I'm typing in the notes, so if you please speak up if you see RAN. Ujong, is there anyone else to add to RAN right now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, ROC is a little bit empty right now. I certainly would be happy if now I'm trying to look at who all is on here. I don't see Sean. Yeah, so we have a bit of a hole with ROC right now. We're trying to fill it.
You know, we can leave them open for now, just, you know, if we have them.
And he's on vacation, but Alex is the right person for Smart 5G.
Okay,
That'll get us started.
I'll get started, that's fine, thank you. Anyway, as you assign one. Gets created, summaries of how, you know, summaries required and components are required. This. Create it. It's now a list of issues. We'll see EAT4. Currently, I do not have anything other than the default dashboard. As time goes on, we can figure out what dashboard makes sense for people, or you can make your own. At the moment, I'm not working on it right now. The only really other important thing, let me go back to workflow. So right now, AET4, our workflow is really trivial. It's just nothing gets created, turns into open. From open, it can get assigned to a particular user, or whoever looks at it can just deal with it and move it to resolved. From assigned, it can go back to open because the wrong guy got assigned it for some reason. Or it can go to resolved as in it got fixed. From resolved, it can go back to open. It needs more work, but not sure who's going to do it. Or back to assigned and it needs more work and we know who's going to play with it. Or it can go to closed. In closed, from closed, best thing you can do is go to open if somebody decides to reopen it. You know, basically this is reopen, which now that I remember, I think we said we weren't going to do. Okay, I need to look at that again. And
So going from resolved to closed, I can't, it's too small. What does it say there?
verified it.
So what is our model for that? Is that thank you.
Basically, we have this to allow the option of having somebody double check the work, having a user verify it. Basically have somebody besides the developer who did something, you know, double check it. We don't need it. We can just close it resolved.
Well, and then we can choose as even on a project by project subcomponent basis, how we want to deal with that. So we could have some kind of resolve scrub or TST scrub of it or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
There's also going to be different types of resolved, you know, did I fix it or I haven't set those up yet, but we will.
Okay.
So basically this is just a general workflow, about as simple as you can get minus, you know, the closed. If we need to expand it, let me know.
So if we started populating this with some legit tickets, that'll carry over. This is all, we'll go live when we're satisfied with it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is to make sure it's what we want and then put it in because it can be a real pain trying to undo stuff sometimes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that's basically the general workflow. What else I have? The resolutions when we resolve it. Let's handle it, goes resolved. And these are where, you know, I need to put in resolved types of resolved. It's, you know, was a duplicate, worked, won't fix, those kind of things. That needs to be added. Right now it doesn't exist. That's a very quick demo. Just want people to start playing with the site. Now the question is, everybody who was on the invite list from last week's should have gotten an invite within the last, call it 25, 30 minutes. Have people received an invite to your email?
I have not.
Anybody?
Yeah, I have received it.
You
Yes,
have?
Kunal. Yeah.
Okay,
I also got it.
awesome. Okay. So again, there's just test site play. Don't worry about breaking anything. That's the whole point. You know. If you break something, let me know so I can resolve it. Just repeat, if you find an issue that you think needs to be fixed, create a new ticket and use the Jira setup ticket as it.
Sounds good.
Okay, any questions on this? All right, thank you.
Right, thanks.
So, Def, like I have accepted the invite, but automated email I have not yet received. It says that we have sent you activation link, and it's roughly 20 minutes since I clicked on it. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that flow is tested by anyone. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll need to check on that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I had another question in terms of users, but I don't think this week is the right time. Let me play with that a little bit. I'll bring it up next week.
All right, thanks. I was just looking to get in my email and I don't see anything yet.
I'll keep trying. If there anybody, so I know about Larry, if anybody else checks and does not see an invite, please ping me either DM or email.
All right, let's move on then. Thank you, to the work on Jenkins. So it's currently the case that the Rock published jobs and the Aether on-ramp jobs are the only ones that are left on Jenkins. How is the work that you're doing coming along? Throw it out to both UDAF and Canal.
Slowly progressing in terms of moving to GitHub Actions. Been focusing on getting the on-ramp jobs shifted to dynamic and
So just back to the dynamic. So these are two separate things. The Rock is moving to GitHub. On-ramp is moving to dynamic Jenkins specs.
Right.
Can you characterize which ones are done, which ones are dynamic?
At the moment, quick ramp 20.04 jobs are the dynamic ones that we're working on.
All right, so I'll go take a look. So the quick start 20 or 22?
20. They're not quite robust.
All right. All right, thanks. Yeah, I think the 20 and the 22 quick start are the priority. The two server ones, if we had to do those down the line, we can live with that.
Yep.
All right. Moving to the GitHub issue, you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I have a hard time figuring out which GitHub actions have died and had problems. So I was going to throw together a dashboard for me. I'm just wondering if anybody else cares.
And great to see what you put together.
Okay.
All right, and then we do still need to publish action for Rock, and we do not have anyone that owns that problem, correct?
I'm not aware of it right now, but I haven't looked at it. I can start looking at it when I finish up the other stuff, I feel like.
Well, we might need to have you do that just from the point of view of no one else owning it, and it's been done for other components, so it should be approximately a cut and paste, but I'm sure it won't quite be.
All right, I'll add it to as soon as I get the other ones done. Anyway, they're taking longer than they should.
All right. Any other infrastructure topics from anyone else? All right, let's move on to the component status reports, if there's anything on any of these, on the core. AJ, Gabriel,
So Canonical team open a PR to move the PFCP or replace the PFCP component with the Go PFCP repository. So I start reviewing that PR, provide some feedback, and Guilherme start addressing some of that stuff, but I need to kind of keep working on that. It's kind of like a little bit large PR, like 52 files were changed or created. But yeah, so that's kind of aligned to the roadmap that kind of was created to replace again, move into a newer version of new 3GPP release. And so the first part is to align the PFCP component use between the UPF and the SMF. The UPF,
I'm horrible with acronyms. It's PFCP, right?
PFCP, correct. So this Go PFCP package is already used in the UPF, and the SMF was using an OMEC or relay created a PFCP component. So we are kind of deprecating that part, and Canonical team is helping us on doing that effort.
Okay, good, nice.
Yeah, but the only thing is like a partial effort because we also need to, so the SMF has two components, has the SMF itself, and it has also a UPF adapter component. Canonical team help us, the PR that they already open, modifies or replaces the PFCP for the SMF, but nothing was done for the UPF adapter. So that's some additional work that needs to be done.
Okay, thanks. Anything else on the core? I know a bunch of you have been gone and just getting back.
Yeah, so no, then besides that, just kind of like last few days, we were kind of start merging several PRs that were open overall in the entire core network. So now we have, I think, like just 4 outstanding PRs. One of them is Suresh is taking care of. The other one is is in the UPF. The other one is in the PFCP that I mentioned in the SMF. And there are 2 more improvements that Canonical also is contributing for the web console.
Good, thanks. I don't see any Canonical folks on, but I might,
I didn't see them today
yeah,
either.
but it's good that they are active here, good.
Yep.
Wuzhong, I see you're on. You have anything to talk about on RAN?
Yeah, so currently we are updating the Go modules and Go versions for entire SD-WAN components right now. So the Korean team actually is working on it. They are creating a PRs, and I'm building it one by one. But while we are actually doing that, we found that the current gRPC compiling gRPC compile tool is not working properly with the latest Go module and Go version. So I'm actually redesigning it. I believe it should be the huge change in the ONOS API, because ONOS API has its own gRPC compile workflow, but it's not properly working in the latest Go modules. So I'm working on it. Actually, it's a design work, so I'm working on it. And once design is ready, then I think I can upgrade it so that ONOS API is working with the latest Go and the other Go modules. So that would be that would take some more time, like 1 or 2 weeks. So that is kind of blocker, but I think I can handle it.
Okay. So you're happy with how the new group of contributors are working?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they don't have a CS background, but they are ramping up. I believe we are on track. They are working hard, and I'm happy with it. So far it's good, and like I mentioned, unfortunately, they don't have a CS background, so the progress itself is a bit delayed and lagging. So I'm trying to get 1 or 2 more people in the CS area. So if they can join, then I think we can go much faster.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, that's all from it. That's the end.
Okay. I know that the Bala is spending the week in at Intel Labs. Any update, Bala, or anyone else involved? You're on.
Okay.
you're mute If you're, yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can.
Yeah, so quickly I'm just adding a support to add USRP. Intel has X310 here, and we had some connectivity issues that has been resolved last night. So we are going to test the setup that we have with our Ether core today. So yeah.
Again, acronym USRP.
USRP, yes.
This is the OAI radio.
Radio, yes.
Well, that's kind of like a generic FPGA based radio.
Yeah, but it is the software is
used-
released from OAI, right?
Not really. I mean, the USRP itself is just the RF component itself. So that USRP can be used either with OAI radio or it can be used with SRS RAN, with any other, in general, these software-based GNLP solutions.
Nice.
So yeah, we are going to test it today with Ether, have it deployed and stuff, and we will have update. Yep.
Nice, thanks. Anything else? I know that you're working on integrating your.
That is still in progress. I haven't published it yet.
But just I'm sorry, you do have a plan for how you're going to release your scalable.
I do, yeah. Yes, but I need to share it with Ajay first. I'm sorry, Ajay.
Okay.
Not done it
So
yet.
you have a plan and to release, I guess, scalability updates.
Yes.
Vet with AJ and then publish for the TST thing.
Yep.
Good. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, so I added rock status, but I don't know that we have anyone that can speak to it here. We were going to create a try to document how to modify and publish new models. But I don't think I've seen any activity on that just yet.
But Larry, I think we need to identify somebody to help in the rock, but at least from the Slack side perspective, I have seen a few users kind of requesting help with issues related to the rock.
Yeah. I mean, one of them I dealt with yesterday, and it was a pretty simple thing, just getting the right URL so that they could access the API, the programmatic API. Yeah, generally we're looking for someone to step up and take a bit more ownership of the rock. And Sean is willing to help support that, but it's not going to be Sean long term. And personally, I'd like to understand how all that works a little bit better too. So I'm not a suitable long-term backstop for it, but at least I can help ask questions until we get there. So I'm going to put you on the spot. I see a couple of people on the call from Iowa State. Are you folks coming up to speed? Need any help?
Yeah, so hi Larry,
Hi.
Arsalan here. Yeah. So actually, I was when you will be done with the agenda of today's meeting, I was about to speak up and talk about our deployment of Ether in the ARA Wireless Living Lab, and we have a couple of technical folks also joining today. If time permits, I think we would like to get some guidance, some help from you or other folks in the call about the technical questions that Joshua and Tiani have regarding the deployment of different components like SD core, SD-RAN in our wireless living lab. So if can we go ahead and ask those small questions here?
Yeah,
Is this the
yeah,
right
let's go
forum?
ahead and do that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Josh, if you would like to go ahead and ask.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Joshua, and I'm a PhD student here at Iowa State University. So here at the ERA NSF Power Platform, we are actually deploying fully programmable like radio access network. So we leverage USRPs, N320s, X410s, and X310s and B210s for our open source like run, right? So right now we are using SRS and then OEI. So currently we are really like planning on how we can integrate the open source run with the SD core actually. So I was just wondering if like maybe like folks have already tried that kind of like integration. With OEI and then SD core. And then if there are any like suggestions or any modifications if there are any that we need to make on the core side or the run side to make sure they can communicate with each other. So that's kind of like on a high level, and yeah.
Yeah, so several people have done this.
Mhm.
What we're trying to do now is document what they did and publish some playbooks to help make it easier to do. That was the point here a little bit earlier on the on-ramp status. So there is something coming, but there are a bunch of people who have had experience doing this, some on the call. So any problems you run into, I would say on the Slack channels is, first of all, on this TST call, it's a good place to ask questions when you run into, things that are truly blocking you, but also asking questions on Slack. And on Slack, on-ramp would be one channel, would be probably a good one. Maybe we should just limit it to that to try to concentrate the requests there.
Right.
So I'll just bring questions to the TST call and post to Ether on-ramp channel.
Mhm.
Would be where you'll find people that have some experience and can answer.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hongwei did mention about the Slack channel. I think me and Joshua, I think we are not on Slack, right, Josh? We will.
Yeah, somehow I think I'm not in the.
Yeah, sure.
So
We will join. We'll join.
So if one of you is in the Slack workspace, you can invite the others.
Right.
And
Okay.
if none of you are in, send me an email with your email addresses and I'll send you an invite.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. I think Hongwei is there. He can invite us. Otherwise, I'll shoot you an email. Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually, yeah, when you do that, I'll just turn Iowa State on as by default, get invited.
One general question for the Iowa State folks. Just kind of more for curiosity perspective, what is the kind of end goal of that you want to do with the research for these like end-to-end, like core and run?
Yeah, so actually it's we are providing like a test bed where like folks like not only Iowa State team but like researchers around the world can really like reserve nodes, compute nodes, and then software defined radios and run their end-to-end experiment. And yeah, so we are kind of like the platform like provider just for experimental like purposes. So we kind of aim to try like different like options, just to give like a wide range of options for people that may want to like try like different stuff. So we've had like feedback from the research community on like different types of like core network that they can integrate with the RAN, which I think the SD RAN popped up as well. So we are kind of like, that's one of like the motivations. And yeah, so I think it's basically for the SDR experiment, just to provide an end-to-end like fully programmable platform where researchers can like have access and then like test their stuff. Because like looking at the like getting the hardware expensive and all that, so just coming on the platform, they will be able to do that. And also we have some other commercial grade RAN like from Ericsson that we also are starting to think about how to interface with open source like core networks like the SD-RAN as well.
So if you are watching the screen, I'm sharing the arawireless.org website. This is one of the NSF funded wireless testbed centers at Iowa State, and it has a theme of rural outreach and ag applications. So correct me if I'm
Yes,
saying anything wrong, but this is kind of the
that's correct.
the uniqueness of this particular case.
Yep.
And yeah, just for your sake and for everyone on the call, because I've suddenly been talking to different test bed organizations, and I've become acutely aware of this. Aether is a little bit unique in that we have a really strong core, and we are working for that core to be interoperable with a lot of different RAN options. A lot of the other projects that are out there in the open source space are really a little bit more RAN focused, and they're happy to work with anybody's core. What we really need to do as a Aether project is make sure people understand that we have the core that they really want to be working with, because they need a core that's not just minimally sufficient to do their RAN research. They want a fully microservice-based core, and that's what Aether gives them. So, sorry, that was long-winded, but the centrality of the core to Aether is really unique compared to OAI and a lot of these other projects. It started with the RAN, and they just tacked a core on because, of course, you got to have a core.
Okay.
And also then, as a consequence, one of the things that we're really trying to do with OnRamp is make sure there's as many RAN options as possible. SD-RAN needs to be one of them, but Mosel Lab, OAI, SRS RAN, and so on should be other options.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're working really hard to get that blueprint published, because it will help make that easier for people.
Okay.
SRS RAN might be next on the shopping list for us, right?
Yep.
All right, so thanks for the introduction, and we're looking forward to getting more from you over time.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot, Larry, for accepting our invitation to for the keynote speaker to RFS. Really looking forward to.
Yeah, I am too. So
yeah.
I'm going to Ames in end of August, and I'm actually looking forward to the Farm Progress Show, the largest trade show in ag, in Boone, Iowa, right up. It's near Ames, I believe, right?
Yeah. We will have our presence there as well. So yeah. In the Farm Progress Show, it's like both RFest and Farm Progress Show are kind of like co-located, not to say co-located, but like the dates coincide with each other. We made sure that the one happened after the other, so we planned RFest in such a way, although FPS Farm Progress Show is such a huge event. I mean, of course,
Yeah, so you're going to have a booth at this thing, is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. And
Yeah,
a demo as well. Yeah.
a demo of Aether working with one of these
Mm.
radios would be great. I mean,
That's
we could show it working with Mosel Lab too, because that might be of interest. I'm not sure if you've
Mhm.
encountered them yet, but that might be of interest too.
Right, right. No, we haven't looked into that aspect, but yeah, what Joshua just explained, that's what so we are trying our best to prepare, like have a demo with the SD core, mix and match of different open source solution with like RAN of OI RAN and then core from Ether, and then the same demo for the I'm not sure. I think it's probably for AraFest for the Farm Progress show at our booth. The demo is something else. If I'm, yeah, I think Tiani and Josh can correct me. But yeah, I mean, we are preparing a demo where we want to have Ether integrated into our wireless living lab, to show that, yeah, to the participants. Yeah.
Great. Good, thanks. All right, well, stay tuned for more. I think this is a nice opportunity for both the ERA project and for Ether.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do have, I don't know if you have any edge applications, but we do have an interesting edge application which we showcased at MWC a couple of years ago with ONF, which is an AI/ML based defect detection. And we have used it for for fruit, for example, to detect good and bad bananas or tomatoes. It detects issue with silicon also, but it could be
nice.
used for corn or any of these farm product here, right? Good, bad corn, right? It's part of the end-to-end. It works with Ether, right? It's open source. It's like the model. It's an unsupervised model, right? We train the model with good object, and then you show other objects, similar object to the model. It's gonna detect the defect and localize the defect very, very, quickly, instantly. We'll be happy to share with you, right, if you're interested.
Yeah, if you can share a pointer, maybe here in the chat, or can you say the name again? It's interesting, because we are very focused, as Larry mentioned, on the agriculture applications, rural use cases. So yeah,
it's a defect detection. It detects defect.
Okay,
so you train the model with a good object, and again, object could be fruit or vegetables. I can send you some video with bananas, for example, or
okay.
And we detect issues on the bananas, and the issues are localized, right? And you have a percentage of the 50% good or bad. I mean that you can set the threshold yourself, right?
You might have to abstract the banana part of it, because I don't think they grow bananas in Iowa, but yeah.
No, but corn, right? So used for corn.
Yeah,
right?
corn.
Tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah, tomatoes, corn, right? So anything. The model doesn't care, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
Sure.
Thanks. Are there any other?
Send me your email and we'll send you information. Or put your email on the chat and we'll send you information later. Yeah.
Sure.
I can connect. I got both your emails. I'll make sure you're connected.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Larry. Thanks.
Okay. Is there anything else back to the agenda?
Yeah, Larry, regarding JJB updates, I have created a pretty generalized job template for most of our jobs. So I have grouped the jobs into different groups, like one of them is quick start and the other one has multi-node. So most of these jobs have similar structure. So that's why I have created a common job template for them, and will be able to create jobs using those job templates. And with these groups, we will have a grouping kind of approach, and due to that, we will have a quite minimal files, you can say.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yep, right now I also plan to open a view for this, but yeah, right now it is still a few jobs are left, so that's why I have kept it closed right now. We'll open once all these jobs are lined up.
Okay. We'll open it up soon. Thank you. Anything else?
Larry, I can add few things. I just received feedback from student from Purdue University. It's not from the Shahbaz lab. I think it's somebody else. It's Umakant. They are doing some 5G security project, and they did use the Genode SIM to do some benchmarking.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, at least he acknowledged that he was able to use the tool flawlessly. He does have some suggestions how we can improve or what are the other features we can add on. Yeah.
That's good. So, point the group or the student at the research page on the wiki. It would be great to have a description of it. You know which page I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I did see one on the page
Yeah,
yesterday or day before
yeah, the
yesterday.
work,
Yeah.
Bilal's work is there, Kyle Jameson's work that's there. So it would be great to get a little paragraph about that on that page once anyone that's using Ether for research, please add a paragraph to that, a bullet on your work.
Yeah, actually, SD-RAN project has a couple of papers too. So the Korean team already submitted.
Excellent. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm in the middle of editing this, so I'm not going to jump to the page, but there is a research wiki page. Please populate it. And if we get enough big stuff like the ARA, I'd like to call them out with their own pages if they're large test beds. So that ESNet's doing something similar.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. All right, anything else? All right, thanks everybody, and see you next week.